Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Today is day 37 already. Creatively connecting. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Amiri with us here once again. As we discussed last week, we are going to do a series of health and wellness episodes with him and his transformative journey that he's had. I know there's been a lot of inspiration that has been sent your way. The feedback has just been amazing and supportive. So thank you so much for that. But really last week where we talked about his journey of losing 60 pounds, which is just amazing. That's so much weight. And we still get a kick out of looking at the old photos of him because he looks like a completely different man now. He looks so good now. And he feels so good. And he's got so much energy. And I've just, as a friend, it's been exciting for me just to see this journey and this transformation for him. So popular demand, 30-day challenge. We're going to talk about that today so you can get some more of the specifics. We kind of hit the journey as a whole last week, but today we're going to hit on some of the specifics because when it comes to his 30-day challenges, he's been ridiculously diligent with those challenges more than anybody that I know. He absolutely is passionate about them. He maps it all out. He's a very structured individual, and he writes out exactly what it is and makes sure it's the right amount of challenge, and it's not something that's too lofty to where he gets demotivated. When he sets it, he knows it's something that he's going to achieve, and he gets them done. I haven't heard of one that he has not completed, and he's always achieving more, whether it's 110% or 120% or more of that challenge. So it's just been super inspiring for me to see. So Ray, welcome once again. 30-day challenge, baby.
Let's go. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. And thank you guys all for the love. I mean, obviously, from the meditation one and the one I did last week, you guys have been hitting me up, texting me, calling me, and it's been really cool. And I know a lot of people have been asking for this 30-day challenge and they want to start one. And I just kind of said, hey, just hang tight. We'll go over some of the specifics today. And hey, here we are. So a 30-day challenge. So the way I've done them, and I think there's so many areas of life you can always improve on, but my 30-day challenges have been a 30-day challenge on mind, body, and soul. So it's things, how do you make your mind better? How do you make your body better in health? And how do you make your soul better, your spirit, your spirituality? So that's what I focused them on. And in fact, earlier today when I was getting them together, I found my original one that I did. So when I started doing this, it was November 1st of 2015. And then I got my last one that I just did at the beginning of the year, this year too. But typically I'll do maybe 2 or 3 of them in a year, just depending on where I'm at. But they're not that difficult to do, but again, to do them properly is very important. So again, it's mind, body, soul. Those are the areas. So before you even start setting up goals and targets for yourself for a 30-day challenge, it's really, really important to go back and take inventory of what you do. So if you say, hey, Ray, I want to do one, so can we start tomorrow? No, let's take the next 30 days, the next 60 days, and take inventory and look at your life when it comes to your mental space, your physical or body space, as well as your spiritual space, and see what are areas I'm lacking. Take inventory. For example, when it comes to your diet, take inventory. What are you eating? And you'll notice if you start jotting down what you're eating, you'll be like, gosh, this week I ate out 3 times this week, or I ate red meat 5 times this week, or I have carbs every night, or gosh, I ate ice cream way too much. Or when it comes to exercising, you'll notice there's no pattern there. You might have done 1 week you did 3, 1 week you did nothing, and the next thing you know, a month went by. So the idea is to go back 30 to 60 days and really take inventory. Are you reading? Are you exercising? Are you eating good? What are you doing for humanity? Are you doing something kind? How are you feeling your spirit? How are you feeling your soul? Take inventory. And then once you have that list of stuff, it's easier to go back and look at it and say, okay, I see these areas that I'm not doing well. Obviously, hey, my diet's not well. So now let me dive into the diet piece and see, where is my diet not going well? Well, I'm eating too much of, not eating enough of that. Once you have all that information, then you can sit down and actually say, okay, now let's set my challenge up for my mind, for my body, and my soul. And you can go as extravagant as you want to go. But the idea behind it is you want the targets and the goals to be attainable. Right? You want it to be a realistic, but still a challenge. So, for example, if you have an exercise, let's say if you haven't done a push-up and you go back in the past 30 days and you're like, I haven't done 1 push-up in the last 30 days. Well, your challenge could be 1 push-up for every day for the next 30 days, right? The idea is not to push yourself through the limit to see how many push-ups you can do. The idea is for the next 30 days, when you set this goal, is to be better than you were the 30 days prior, right? So if you did 1 push-up and you did nothing, the one is always better, right? So now obviously that's an example. You can do 10 push-ups or whatever you want to do, but that's kind of how you set it up. So when you start really diving into what is a mind challenge, how does that work? So here's some examples. For example, for the mind part of the challenge, you can do things like reading. I'm going to make sure I read at least 5 pages a day, or I'm going to finish a whole book, or I'm going to do 20 minutes of reading a day. You can do puzzles. You can do give yourself 30 minutes of creative time, whether that's doing a coloring book or drawing or whatever you're, playing an instrument, whatever it is that's going to really expand your mind and get you out there to do something to exercise your mind. So watching documentaries, if you guys are out there watching, especially right now, watching a lot of TV, why not put in a documentary in there? And then when it comes to the body, obviously the body, it's going to be exercise and diet. So you start giving yourself goals and targets about what kind of exercises you want to do there. Do 10 days of cardio workouts of 20 days each. 20 minutes each. So you can kind of set that up. And then also when it comes to your diet, you can get very specific. And then when it comes to your soul, you can do things like acts of kindness to strangers. You can go to church. You can do meditation. You can do writing down 5 things you're grateful for every day. So there's a lot of things like that you can do. But again, the idea is to be attainable and not push yourself to the point where you quit, right? You don't want to quit. You don't want to cheat yourself either. The idea is, again, to be better in these 30 days than you were the past 30 days. Now, as you keep doing these challenges throughout the year and throughout your life, you can always make it harder and tougher for yourself to hit those challenges, obviously, as I have too. So here's a great example. I mean, just kind of going back to my most recent challenge that I did. I started this challenge on December 29th. And again, you don't have to wait for a Monday. You don't have to wait for the first of the month or the beginning of a new year. This 30-day challenge can start at any day. You're just going for 30 days. I started mine on December 30th because on January 29th, I turned 39. And so my goal was to come on my birthday to start my 39th year of life being the best version of myself. So I planned it out in a way where on my birthday, I was done with this 30-day challenge and I was going to be the best version. So what I did after I took inventory, here's what my challenge looked like. I did 30 days of minimum of 64 ounces of water. Obviously, in my inventory phase, I noticed I wasn't drinking enough water. Are you drinking enough water? Do you measure it? So that's one that I did. Another one was 30 days of no red meat. And I think I talked about it last week, but I just ate a lot of red meat. I ate a lot of steaks and things like that. 30 days of no red meat. And I thought that was going to be the most difficult part of this 30-day challenge when I set it up. But the most difficult one was 30 days of no bad carbs. And when I say bad carbs, there's good carbs, bad carbs. Obviously, if you eat an apple or you eat fruit, that has carbs in it, but obviously fruit's good for you. But bad carbs, pastas, breads, things like that. So 30 days of no carbs, no red meat, 64 ounces of water, 30 days of no ice cream. Yes, no Haagen-Dazs ice cream. That's I think we talked about it last week as well. 2 acts of kindness to strangers. I did 2 documentaries. I watched The Game Changer on Netflix as well as the Bill Gates documentary, and read 1 book, which was The Art of War, which is what I had written down. But day 1, I noticed that wasn't a book I was in the mood for, and I switched it to a different book called Coffee Bean. So I did that one. I did 1,170 push-ups was my target. And the way I came up with that was my goal was to do 39 push-ups, which was how old I was going to be turning, 39 push-ups a day, which was my age, right? So do your age and amount of push-ups. That was just kind of my target. And also 1,170 sit-ups. So the same thing in the push-ups and sit-ups. I did 15 times 30 minutes of cardio. So 15 days out of those 30, I had to get 30 minutes of cardio in. And 12 days I had to do weight exercises, right? Go to the gym and actually lift weights, whether it's biceps, chest, whatever it is you're doing. And then 30 days of meditation. So those were my 30-day challenges. And as I went and I track them every day, I would write down how many push-ups I did that day or how many sit-ups I did that day and just track that progress. And remember, if there's one you fall behind, it's okay. Not only can you make it up, for example, in push-ups, you can't make up water, for example. If you missed a day, you missed a day. But be truthful to yourself. Don't cheat. Don't write down and say, I did all 30 days. If you only accomplished 28 days, write down you only did 28 days. You're only accountable to yourself at the end of the day, you're cheating yourself. But I think the other most important part is get a few people that are important in your life and share with them, hey, here's my 30-day challenge. Not just for the accountability piece, but also if you're going out and they would understand, hey, I can't eat a steak today, or I can't have a burger today, or I need to go to the gym. I'm going to be 30 minutes late because I got my challenge. I need to hit it. And then you just kind of hold that accountability. And, and Burd and everybody, what it does, they say 21 days to make a habit. And once you do this for 30 days, you'll notice that some of this stuff you'll just naturally keep doing. I think I talked about it last week where the red meat, even after my challenge was done, the next 15 days, I still didn't have a taste for red meat anymore, which, as I mentioned, red meat is obviously not good for your cholesterol. I had high cholesterol last year. So now maybe I might have red meat maybe once a week right now, obviously eating a lot more salmon and chicken and things like that. But that's just kind of the overall scope of it.
Beautiful. Well, one of the things that I love is how you make it a point to really attack all rings of life. You're not just looking at diet or gym. You're also adding in the mind and the spiritual element. And there's beauty in that, right? Where you're so much better off evenly spreading it out across all of those, because then you're making full life progress rather than just one area you're killing it and then the other areas suffer. And I think that's really, really been one of the big growth spurts for you. Question for some of the listeners, because I believe that, for you, it's second nature to be very structured and track. That's absolutely a forte for you, and it's unconscious track. That's just your track, right? So, what would you recommend for people as far as tracking their journey, making sure that they stay on track? What are a couple bullet points you can share with them to make sure that they stay engaged and in the game and track everything?
Gosh, that's such an important part and such a great thing. I'm glad you brought that up. One is to share it with people. Share it, if you live with someone, if you're married, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, parents, whatever your situation is, share it and ask for accountability. I know that this one when I did, I went to everyone at work and in my personal life, I'm like, hey, and I remember Eric, I'm like, hey, here's what I'm doing. And I'm not sharing this to say, hey, look at me. I'm sharing this because I need your help to help me accountable, right? So I think that's a big one. But really, at least for me and just the way my mind works, and you got to look at it how it works for you, is track it. Like physically track it. Look at it, get it going. And, every day, and I got my whiteboard up there, and I track it, whether it's on a calendar, I drank enough water today, you put a check mark next to it, however many push-ups you did, and then you just kind of watch that number grow. And, it's kind of cool. Once you're on day 10 or 11, like, you hold yourself accountable so much more. You're like, I've come this far. Like, I'm not going back. I'm hitting this thing. So for me, it's a tracker. Normally, it's like a little journal that I have, and I'll just track day by day how much I did, what I did of. And again, when it comes to like the push-ups and sit-ups, typically by the time I'm done with the 30 days, as you mentioned, I've well over exceeded the target that I've given myself. And here's a great example. Eric, I was talking to you about earlier. My goal, my 30-day challenge at the beginning of the year was to do 39 push-ups and 39 sit-ups. And I think naturally that's built a habit where right now, if I don't do 100 push-ups, for example, in a day, I feel like I didn't live my day that in a full way. So that just naturally became a new habit, and it's become a part of my lifestyle. So
beautiful, well done. And if you look at that printout that he has there, right? That's exactly the structure that I'm talking about. And as humans, we operate through our awareness. It's really, what are those things that we put in the front of our mind? And when you have something like that is absolutely visible every single day, right? Whether you have in your refrigerator, you have in the living room, and you walk by and you go, ooh, I've only done 20 today. I better knock, my next 19 out. And there's that reminder, because if you don't have that in your face, it's easy to just keep operating as you normally do, right? And that's where that muscle memory happens with that habit of 21. We need that reminder. So I encourage all of you to print it out in multiple places. Do your structure, print it out on Word, put it in multiple places. I love the accountability piece, because there's something about us as humans when we know people that we love or anyone that's in our circle is going to hold us to something, right? It's one thing to where letting ourselves down, but letting people down around us as well. We operate well with a little bit of that peer pressure in a healthy way, because they might see if you're about to go for that Haagen-Dazs, they're like, hey, oh, not till next month, put it back. And have that fun support along the journey, So Just beautiful, Ray. And again, I'm super excited to hear what your next 30-day challenge is. And it's really cool to see how just over time you've been very good at hitting goals that are attainable. I haven't seen you set one that was demotivating. And again, you just continue to shoot past that number, which is really fun. And again, you've just integrated it into being a part of your lifestyle. So for all the listeners out there, please, we'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to hear the challenges that you're doing. Continue to create new fun challenges. That makes it exciting. Track it, get your accountability partners as well. But definitely let us know anything else that you'd like to hear about Ray's journey, because he has so many beautiful stories to share. Because I know that everybody on this line, if you're taking the time to watch this, transforming your life is something that's important to you. Creating the best version of yourself is something that's important to you. And we all know you don't just wake up and it happens. You have to be very intentional about it. So that's why we're talking about these simple things that we can do to help you with your intentions, help you with your structure, so you can continue to create a better version of yourself day in, day out.
That being said, if you guys want, and if you want to hit me up, shoot me a text, give me a call. If you're having a hard time setting it up or how to take inventory, obviously we all got a little extra time right now, so I'd love to be able to help.
Absolutely. I appreciate that support, Ray. And today will be today and tomorrow's episode. We know today was a little bit beefier, but this one we'd love to see more communication on in preparation for next week as well. So that being said, thank you, Ray, for your time and your insight. As always, great spending time with you. And for those of you, enjoy your weekend as much as you can. It's supposed to be steaming hot here in San Diego. I hope where you're at, you get some sunshine. Get out there, get that vitamin D, get some sun on your body. I mean, instantly, if you're a little wound up and stressed out, it's amazing how that fresh air and that sun can just make you start to feel that much better. So get out there, do those challenges, enjoy that time with your loved ones, and we'll catch you next week. Take care, all. Later, Ray.
Later, man.